our flare at flare. We've cut our 3-layer flare. Now it's time for us to cut our wrap top. So I'm teaching you how to cut a wrap top. Now, as usual, you know we need our basic measurement for our dress. Our basic measurement, which is we're going to be needing our shoulder, our bust, our waist, just that one. We're not going to need our hip because it's only going to be stopping here. So now our bust is 34 inches. 34 inches divided by 4 is 8.5, 8.5 inches. I'll be adding extra 2 inches allowance, which will be 10.5. 10.5. Okay, and the length of our dress is 16 inches. 16, so we'll be adding 1 inch extra allowance, which will be 17. Cutting this out. So this is what we are needing now. This is what we need now. The length of our top is 16 inches plus 1 extra inch allowance for the joining, so which is 17 inches. So now this is 17 inches. The next thing we are going to do is we're going to measure our shoulder. So our shoulder is 15 inches divided by 2, 7.5. This is 7.5. We're making use of armhole of 8.5 inches. So after doing this, the next thing we're going to do, we're going to get our bust. So this is basically our bust. 8.5 inches. That is 34 inches divided by 4 is 8.5 plus 2 extra inches of allowance, which is 10.5. So this is 10.5 here. Same goes to the waist. The waist is 26 inches. 26 inches divided by 4 is 6.5. 6.5 plus 2 extra inch allowance, which is 8.5. Connect the lines. So having done this, the next thing we are going to do is shoulder slope, which is 1 inch shoulder slope. Then from there we'll take the midpoint of it. We have 7.5 inches left. 7.5 inches divided by 2, that is 3.5 quarter. 2.5 quarter will go in by 0.5 inch. Connect your lines. So having done that, we have to determine our neckline. So our neckline is 3 inches. We are going to go in by 3 inches. So now at this point now, we will notch it. Now we can decide to, we will not cut it, sorry. We can decide to shaping it out. But let's shaping the back out by 1 inch. So the back is usually by 1 inch. cut. So now this is the back. We are going to use it to cut our back fabric. So I'm having enough. So we're turning this into two. So, but this is so now this is my lining. I'm going to join it. So this is the back. This is my back. So the next thing we are going to do, we are going to be drafting the front. Now we are going to be drafting the front. How do we draft our front? We have to open our pattern like this. So we have to open our pattern like this. So we've opened our pattern like this. Then at this edge here, you can decide to come up by 1 inch. 1 inch. After coming up by 1 inch, at the point here, you can decide this midpoint. You can see this midpoint here. Now you can decide how wide your opening is going to be. You can say, okay, I want to make use of 6 inches, 7 inches. I want to go in by 5 inches. Anyhow you want it to be. But I don't want mine to be too open. I don't want the cleavage to be too open. So what I'm going to do, from this side here, I'll take my ruler. I'm just going to connect it down to the line. Like this. Though it's still going to be open, but I don't want it to be too open. Now if you say, okay, you want yours to be 6 inches, you can come in like this from the shoulder line here. From the shoulder line. From the shoulder line here, you draft it like this. Now the reason why I put in this 1 inch here is because this is where the rope is going to sit. The rope is going to sit at this edge here. It's going to sit at this edge here. So and this side is going to be the open. Now there are different ways though of cutting your wrap top. There are different ways of cutting your wrap top. But the reason why I like this way is because it gives me more of that closure. It gives me more of that closure. On the arms, if you have to cut your wrap top, at this crease line here, you go in by 4 inch, 3 inch. It depends on how wide you want it to be. You can go in by 1 inch, 3 inch. Now if you go in by 3 inch or 4 inch eventually, what you just need to do is you connect this line. You connect it like this to this side. Connect this line to this side like this. But because I don't really want it, I want it to have more of that closure. I can also decide to say, okay, well, because it's going to be long because of the 2 inches at this edge, so I can decide to remove the 2 inches here that I already added to this side. So eventually I added 6.5 inches. So I can say, okay, let me remove 2 inches here, come up by 1 inch, and trace my line. So if you are making for top, now if you're making for top, for just a top, I would prefer you to make use of this first line here. I would prefer you to make use of this first line because it gives you more of that closure, that wrapping. It's not as if it's just open, just small wrap. No. It gives you that coverage and that comfort if you make use of this first line. But because I'm not making a top, I'll be making a dress instead. I'll be making use of the second line. I can also make use of this first line. It's my choice. Any one that you prefer to. And if that's okay, or you don't want to cut it, you can fold it. Okay, I think it's not folded. The paper I refuse to fold. For the first one, this is item. Your laptop. So it should just, this is where it should be. It should wrap you here on the midpoint here and take you over to this side. Are you seeing? It's going to take you over to this side. The waist like this. So this is how they cut the laptop. You can see it's very simple and easy. Very, very simple and easy. There's no much of a, no much advert there. So I'm going to place this in my fabric and cut. So, just going to measure our waist. So this is how it's going to be, and also this is my lining. So this is how it's going to be. At least this should be able to fold in my waist. It's 29 inches long. To fold in my waist, to tie my waist properly. So this will be my strap. So I want to cut the sleeve now. I don't even know the kind of sleeve I want, but it's definitely not a straight sleeve. I don't want a straight sleeve. I think I'm going to go for a puff sleeve instead. A puff sleeve, yeah. I think so too. So with the amount of fabric left, I'm going to use in cutting my sleeve. So but now this sleeve is going to be okay, 7.5, 7. So it's just a short puff sleeve of about 40 inches, so it will be pleated. My So this is all we have for our wrap dress. We're going to put them in place together and show you.